Why not? Why not? Why just wasabi? What's wrong with the rest of Big Hero 6?
Easy. No, we're talking about food here. Food.
And one time
That movie doesn't get enough love.
No, it does not. It's probably one of the best movies I've seen animated in a long time.
I went out with my friends for a birthday party once to like one of those hibachi places, and one of the guys I was with he doesn't use wasabi on his sushi roll, so he dared me to eat the entire thing, and I popped that whole thing in my mouth. And a guy who wasn't even in our party was at the end of the table, and he just died laughing. The rest of the night, he was just enthralled by our entire performance.
So, something funny. New world events, whatever you want to call it. So tonight, I went to a restaurant. I'm not going to say what because, I mean, we're not here to promote or whatever, Hooters, but whatever. And I got some wings. And I like the lemon pepper dry rub. It's really nice.
Wings are good.
Yeah. So I tried one, and I told him to bring me the hot sauce. And I tried the hot sauce. And I'm like, man, this is like milky. It's really... So I was like, she came around. I said, what's your hottest sauce? Well, we have the 3 Mile, explosive diarrhea sauce. And I said, give it to me. And it did nothing.
Oh no, that you can't.
I think I have the COVIDs. I'm telling you.
No.
I
Are you
wow.
sick?
I mean, my nose didn't run. Nothing. I think I could eat anything right now.
There are, and I'm just gonna say that there's a lot of and this apparently is now, but there's a lot of people who think they like spicy and then they get spicy and complain about it being too spicy. So as a person who likes spicy, can't find anything spicy ever. They'll come out with these ghost pepper or these ghost pepper items. They're not spicy. It drives me insane. The only place you can still get legitimate spicy is Asian food. You go get yourself some Thai food. You will get yourself
I'm familiar.
Or Indian.
Yeah, you'll burn. You'll burn at both ends, but that's the only place you can get.
Here's the problem. Hang on. This is serious. Serious stuff going on. I have eaten that before, and the first thing that happens is your nose runs, and then you're snotting like crazy. All right. And then your eyes tear up, and you try a little more, and then you start getting that tingle in your tongue where it like burns and everything. I got none of that.
Yeah, they just made it weaker because people weren't buying it.
I got the COVID. I'm telling you, I can't taste nothing. I'm scared.
Oh,
well, welcome to the Plasticast. I'm hungry man. I'm hungry man. RC.
So I am a COVID megamus, but I don't. I mean, it's not. It's literally yes. What you said is correct. Why do you keep dumbing down hot sauce? If I want something hot, make it hot.
It drives me insane.
So I know what to stay away from.
Okay, but here's the thing. You have to be careful in restaurant situations because of the lady and the McDonald's coffee, if you remember that. Now,
she was justified. She was justified.
Hang on. I know she might have put a little spit in there, but it's still hot. Spit still makes hot.
But I'm just saying there are liability issues because it's like we've heard of restaurants where you have to sign a waiver if you have certain things because of the Scoville. Thank you, Scoville. The heat index.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I like a little bit of spice, but I'm not someone who will like I want to burn the inside of my mouth.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
I'm
so
not.
good.
I'm not that. It's like when I was in this is middle school, high school. You have the taco sauce, the hot sauce on the table at school. I had a friend of mine. He took off the top off the thing and drank over half of hot sauce. Didn't even phase him. Now, granted, several years later, he drank an entire quart of Everclear. Did not phase him
Because he was a monster.
because he was 5'4".
Because he was an alcoholic. But go ahead.
No. He was 5'4", about 120 pounds, and had the metabolism of a hummingbird.
All right,
He could not be drunk. He could not be drunk. Yeah.
I'm like 5'8", 5'9" on a good day. I am well over 50, as you know, 55. My metabolism just went bye-bye a long time ago. But I had that same sauce years ago, and it tore me up. And
It's
today,
because
I
all
felt
these
nothing.
spice fakers, like it's spicy and it's spicier than ketchup, and they complain, so they have to dumb it down so that people feel like, oh.
I went with Brian
I
Kilby.
thought I was Superman. You're saying they dummied it down? God,
Yeah, man.
bless it.
I went. It was a BotCon. I was traveling with Brian Kilby. I don't remember where. There was a grocery store called Jungle Gyms.
Jungle Gyms, yes.
Yeah,
Love it.
they
Best jerky ever.
They had in a case the extracts that you use to make hot sauce with. It was it was locked up behind a glass.
But you can
bottle.
overdose on capsaicin.
Yeah.
Is a possibility.
Yes.
All
Anyway,
right, everyone check on me every 5 minutes throughout the show. Make sure I'm still here.
Go get things to taste. We have to make sure that you're okay.
Like what? I mean, I had hot sauce. I had wings. I mean, they weren't hot. I mean,
I can't. The challenge to find things that even make my nose dribble a little bit is
that's the other thing.
Impossible.
Every time I went there, my nose would like run. I mean, everyone knows this. You get something hot, your nose runs. It didn't do it. I was like, I turned to my wife and I went, something's wrong here. She's like, what? I'm like, this isn't hot. She tasted it. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, it's not. She goes, you got the COVIDs. I went, all right, whatever.
I think you're fine.
That vid.
Yeah. Kind of suggestion.
Yeah.
I already have the test. I'm getting ready to take it. Go ahead.
When you put this up, you might want to include a timestamp of when the food talk stops and the Transformers begin, just so that way people don't think they have tuned into the wrong channel.
Yes, this is the Foodcast, right?
All right.
If it's the Foodcast, I'm going to tell you about why Lexington, North Carolina vinegar-style barbecue is the best, and everyone else's sucks.
Hey,
you know what? I'm going to start
what?
up right now. Every single barbecue I've ever had is too sweet. Boom.
You haven't had what I grew up with.
There you go.
You know what I have to say about vinegar style barbecue sauce?
Be careful, I will come through the screen.
I love it.
Okay,
but I also think that if you add the other barbecue sauce on top of it, you have like spectacular wonderfulness. I like both of them. They're all great.
Okay.
I just like food.
I mean, come on. I'm like a bit.
So
you know what?
I'm thinking that welcome to the show. We are actually going to talk about Transformers and toys and everything else other than hot food, because I'm going through a crisis right now. But yes, also my butt has to go to bed at a certain time, so I can't stay late. Sorry.
Oh, no.
And it might be because I might be pooping out some of this hot sauce that I can't taste.
Hey,
well, you'll know You'll know if you have COVID.
Hashtag explosive poops.
You'll know you have COVID if you feel it on the other side.
Well,
Anyway,
And I'm pretty sure
I got plenty of sick time.
What
The
the
heck with
Doors
it.
thought about
Whatever.
break on through the other side. I'm pretty sure this wasn't what they were talking about.
I thought we had a topic other than explosive poops.
We do.
well,
You're the one that took it that
I do
direction.
have a story. I do have a story.
I love stories.
Okay.
It helps me on the John.
Did I tell y'all about Hank last week in the yard? Okay. We have, I think y'all seen the pictures of the cat condo we have for Hank.
I'm scared.
We have an extra cube that is not attached to anything. So we thought, okay, we'll make it like a hamster ball. We'll put him in there, we'll zip it up, and then that way he can sort of lump it around and he can roll around the backyard because the backyard is now fenced in to keep all the neighborhood kids from cutting through our yard. He was loving it. Everything was going fine.
Damn kids.
Then he had to poop.
Oh, he pooped in the ball.
And then he started rolling again. With the poop in the mesh. And it's very, very fine mesh, so he couldn't get out, even though it's to protect him. So we run over there, my wife and I, and he is covered. So I am picking him up like Simba, running up the hill to get him to the bathroom. We had to give him a bath with baby shampoo. He's so scared he's panting. Cats don't pant unless they are extremely under duress. So we towed him off. We put him in his room with his litter box. We put plenty of towels on the floor. That's the title of my day. Then he had to poop. Anyway, welcome to the Plasticast.
Yep.
I'm Headmaster Don. That's Sideburn. That's Megamus. And our fearless Plasticon.
Yep.
Good Lord.
And we're going to talk about non-exploding poop, but some of these can kind of explode.
Yeah, we've had Dreamstar. Dreamstar
share
toys.
These. But
we're
talking third party tonight. So, what brought up the third party thing was not TFCon, but Brett. Brett, our anti third party, is actually interested in something. What is this thing?
Third party anti explosive diarrhea. Yes,
I think we can all get behind that one.
Get behind her. In front. Honestly, in front would be better. But anyway, yes. So I saw some pictures of third party stuff, and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
You saw Waspinator.
And we'll get to that. And I'm like, I don't like third party.
Well, you used to.
But that's pretty cool. And then I remember the early days of third party, and I thought, I like this, but I hated that. So then I thought, am I the only one that really likes some of the designs coming out from third party, but some of the things that they feel they have to put in that for me just wreck it? And for me, and I'll go first, and my thought on this was, in third party in general, what are some of the things that you hate? And one of the things that really bugged me was the oversimplification of the transformation and the over abundance of articulation. Because some of the products I've seen, which was, what was that called? 01
Studios, who did the
Broadside, right?
Yeah, and there's a link to Show's web page.
Right.
In the chat.
So for Broadside, to me, the simple design, perfect. Transformation, not too bad. But then they had to add all the articulated fingers and all these little things. And to me, you didn't need it, because those were joints that were going to fail and pop off. And so it got me to thinking, in your idea of a perfect and I'm doing air quotations here, perfect transformer, do you really need all the articulation if it's going to be like that? I would rather have a simple transformation to get what I want. And we might be talking about two things that will never collide. A simple transformation that gets you to the item or the status that you want without failure. Because that's what happens. You have tolerance failures, you have gears that wear down. When every single time a third party has done like a combiner, you have tolerance issues. You have, they won't stand up, they won't do this, whatever. So my thought was, to me, those were important. What do you guys think? What were the worst things about third party items that just kind of let you down? I mean, they provide a service. There's toys out there that we never would have gotten, or we haven't gotten so far, but they kind of failed in certain areas. And what areas and why did they fail you?
I think I'm going to have Sideburn go first.
Yeah, because I'm thinking.
Oh, so I just want to note, I'm with you on the hate of overly articulated hands, in particular. I mostly find that they do the exact opposite of what they're trying to do, which is to give you more realistic hands. I find they always look bad. They always look awkward. Yeah, I don't know. So most of my, I actually have quite a few third-party things. The things that about third party that kind of keep me away from it mostly is more that more when they do things that solve a problem, they solve a problem that Hasbro couldn't solve or Takara couldn't solve in a way because it is a weakness that could become a point of breaking. Like panels that are connected to like little arms that articulate around and stuff like that. Like you said, stuff that just sort of over time is just going to be a point where it's going to break, or it's going to become loose, or it's going to be floppy. And that's not to say, like, I have a bunch of third-party stuff that is actually really, really nice. But then there's just a few where it's just like when I'm transforming them, I'm like, well, Hasbro, I know why Hasbro would never do this because I don't like this. This is very scary. This is it seems like I'm gonna break it. I think the closest that Hasbro has ever gotten, in particular to me, is all the panels on Beast Wars Megatron and the Masterpiece that fold up onto his back. That's the kind of thing that I find that third party does a lot more frequently. And those are areas where I'm just like, I hate this, and this is going to break one day. I'm going to be so mad when it does, But that's kind of the cost of them being able to do. I think that being able to do some of the more complicated stuff that I think that Hasbro would never touch on, but.
Well, so I'm not taking over, but I'm trying to progress what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
So Jason just popped up what I was talking about. Broadside here. I don't know and that's the other thing. Oh my gosh. Any time that we start doing news on third party stuff, I really don't understand. I get that you can't use the real name. I not only am I not a fan, I'm just stupid when it comes to it. So I'm going to call it what it is. All right. Broadside. So we have Broadside here, and there's some amazing things that they do. The fact that you could take this figure, which to me looks about as good as it can get in robot mode, and then you put it into aircraft, and you take all the guns and everything, you fold them up, and they can transform. The guns do too, and make this, and then turn it around. And if he can do the other picture of the jet integrates every single piece and does it like, to me, it's great. I mean, if you had the original Broadside, he's kind of boxy. It's the way it is. But this, to me, is amazing. I'm not a fan of this company. I'm not a fan of third party. But when I see this is good. But when you go to robot mode and they start popping the fingers out and they do all this, I go, do you really need it? You know what I mean? I know you're trying to do that extra because everyone else does it, but then...
Yeah, it's the over-designing of it, right?
It really is, because, I mean, if you go on the forums right now and you pop it up, you're going to see people talking about past third party going, hey, do you have the third knuckle for, this figure because it popped off and I can't find it? I mean, come on. We don't need it. You don't need it. Over-design. I think that what we can do, and I've said this before, what we can do, but should we do that? You have a good representation in all three modes of this character. Do you really need to add to it? What do you guys think? I mean, I could be completely off on this. It's just how I feel. And yeah, I get it. From my age, I'm used to the brick bot and this, that, and the other. But, I mean, unless you want to go into it transforms itself and it does this, that, and the other, I mean, do we really need this stuff? Do we need what all third party is producing? And what are your gripes with those third parties? The tolerances, the all that, I get it. But what do you guys think?
I'm going to let Don go ahead before I do.
Okay. The thing that makes me upset is that a lot of the stuff seems to be overcomplicated for overcomplication's sake. They're trying to make it premium, and they're confusing complexity with value or perceived value, or it's more complex, therefore it's better than a mainline alternative. But the thing is, it becomes to the point where it's an exercise in frustration, and you can't enjoy the figure because, yes, it may look great in car mode. It may look great in robot mode. It may be the perfect example. But if getting there is no fun, it's not really a transformer. It's a figure. You take it out, put it up, leave it in robot mode, put it on the shelf to fill a slot on a shelf without ever transforming it. One of the earliest things in my collecting of third party was the Fans Project Stunticons. I enjoyed the 4 small Stunticons. They were all, again, this is 2010-ish. So we're looking at almost over 15 years ago, give or take. And then they brought out that their Motor Master. It is an absolute god-awful nightmare. And I say that with absolutely zero jest. I had to use P.O. and I think it was either MGO or Bolt Matrix. I can't remember who. But I had to use their videos and rotate between the two back and forth. It took me almost 3.5 hours to go between truck mode, robot mode, torso mode. So if I'm interested in something, I will try to wait till I see a video review of the transformation, because if it is too complex, I'll have to weigh, do I really want this, or is it really not worth it? That's the main thing. You were talking about the hands.
Yes.
KFC, Keith's Fantasy Club, had a lot of problem with that early on. They were real spindly. The friction joints were very, very shallow. I can't tell how many people, like you said, I've lost this knuckle, I've lost this thumb, I can't find it. Because they couldn't do the basic articulation without falling apart. Now, I never had that much trouble, except when they were a super articulated hand and you're trying to put a gun in.
So
that was a problem for me, but not apparently as much as it was for you.
So my question is, if an item claims to do something, and like grab this weapon or do whatever, and it doesn't quite do that, and in doing so things pop off or the tolerances or whatever, do you feel it's a failure? In my eyes, I think it is.
To me, it depends on how it was marketed. Because if
True.
doing that action is why this toy is engineered the way it is, if let's say you made a E-Man toy as an example, and Prince Adam, if he is supposed to be able to reach back with his articulation, grab his sword. So if you want to do the pose before he pulls the sword, the figure had better be able to pull that off. Although, because you don't want his hand here and the sword hilt here, and that's all you've got. Unless you pull the sword out, which is not the way the toy was marketed for Transformers. If you've got a character, let's say they make an Optimus Prime, and they market it that he can, on a stand, he can pull off the jump shot, the jump from the movie. We all know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
If that toy cannot pull that off, if you put that figure on a stand and the stand falls over, and you have to finagle that figure to find the perfect balance point. Yes,
sometimes worse is when they have deliberately used a mistransformation or something to pull off poses, and you didn't know that until you have it in hand, and then you go to try to do it, and you're like, wait, how did they achieve that picture I saw? It's like, they didn't completely transform something, because
if they do,
once you do, it locks in place,
Exactly. I mean, it's called posing porn. It's called posing porn for a reason.
Yeah. So my problem is that, I mean, like, pick any figure. If you take this figure and you have it hold up the gun in a combat pose, you'd be like, okay, it should be able to do that. And it may or may not be able to do that. And then you see another picture where it's holding up, like, I don't know, a 40-pound pig, who knows, over its head. You'd be like, that's not really what it's supposed to do. That's an exaggeration. But what we're seeing is that they're showing figures that do things that you expect them to do, and they're not really leaving. They're not doing it, or you can't get to do that. And then, in order to do that, well, you got to do this, this, and this. Well, and then all of a sudden, that's a separate topic. But then another third party comes out, and they've done it for Hasbro, and they make these kits. You get this kit, and you can do that, and you can hold the gun with two hands, or you can do this and this, and you're like, I get it, but that's kind of what I was promised to begin with. So you have those faults, and I get that, but my biggest problem is with if you see like a combiner, a third-party combiner, and it looks stoic and it looks amazing, but when you do it, it can't hold its own weight, or it can't hold the gun, or when you're doing the transformation, the fingers pop off and all that. That bugs me. And that turned me off from third party for a long time. I know I'm a small majority of the Transformer group, but I'm still a part of it. I'm sorry. I know I remember when gas was 88 cents and all that, whatever. But I still remember that when you bought a product, it did what it said it was supposed to do. And
it's pretty you remember that far ago.
I mean, let me give you a little bit of insight on my experience with third party, because mine very first started out. I don't know if you guys remember this toy, but it was called Sonicron. It was a third party
Oh my
version
god.
Of
oh my god, I am so sorry.
Soundwave. This is my
I remember that
first one I got.
Turned into like a
it turned into a Sony Walkman, or not a Sony Walkman, but a Sony cassette recorder.
Handycam.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I am so sorry.
I used to actually have the actual real Sony Handycam, and I bought this because it was cool, because it looked just like it. Because I'm a bit of a tech guy, I like my tech, and I thought it was really cool. When I got this thing, I was so disappointed, because I even bought cassettes for it too. And the cassettes were okay, but this thing could not stand for nothing. The joints were so weak. And maybe in a customizer. You guys probably know I've been customizing toys for a very long time. I even had issues trying to get this thing to hold positions and such, even trying the nail polish thing, everything. This thing was a hot piece of crap.
I bought it on clearance for like $39, and I still feel like I paid $40 too much.
Yeah, yeah, I can't remember how much this thing was back when I got it, because I did get it when it pretty much first came out. And
I mean, if I do have to say anything about third party, is that quality has become a little more consistent, but
yeah. But my second endeavor, going into let's talk about like articulated hands and such, I got the upgrade kit from X-Transbox back in the day for G1 Devastator. I love this thing except for the hands. The hands were a freaking nightmare.
Was that Crazy Debbie?
No. This was X-Transbox. It was their own take on an entire upgrade kit. Much like Crazy Debbie, they gave you everything: the light up eyes, the waist, the extended legs, the articulated hands, everything. It literally gave you the whole shebang. And I thought that was great. Quality of it was good, except for the hands could not hold the gun. The hands worked, but they did not hold the gun. And yes, I did have a couple times where I had to deal with the fingers popping off. I'm very, very meticulous about how I keep my stuff together. So if I lost a piece, I would spend hours, if I had to try to find those parts. But that's just kind of how it is for me. But I can understand what Megamus and everybody's saying when it comes to third party trying to find this stuff in the aftermarket. Good luck finding it complete, because most of the time it's going to be missing a finger, or an entire hand came off and they don't know what happened to it. I really, really wished, talking about that Broadside, right? Taking it for an example. I wish it would come with alternate hands that could pop off, that don't have the articulated fingers, that you could just put a solid hand on for it to hold a gun and be happy with that. Because the hand does not need to transform at all to actually integrate itself in. There's no reason why you can't have a mushroom peg slide off, or a ball joint, or whatever it is, in order to replace that hand So you're not stuck with articulated hands, especially for the price
Yeah.
that people want for these things.
I like that because I have a couple of my Gridman mechs from the series is the Getai series. They have that. So when I combine them all together, you have like static hands that are like different poses and everything. But then if you want the articulation, you can take the hand off and you can put an articulated hand on. Which to me, yeah, I definitely would prefer that. Like I kind of find a middle ground between like I didn't hate the original Armada Unicron's hands weren't terrible, but for the most part, like when they start being able to splay their fingers out and stuff like that, you're getting into an area where, it might be fun until you accidentally pop a joint and then you can't find the finger when it falls to the ground, or you can't connect it back into the tiny little ball joint or those tiny little ball joints always come out because it's a very shallow, connection to get that much articulation out of it, and sometimes it just becomes very frustrating.
I mean, I think it gets when you're getting the articulated hands, you're kind of, to me, getting more into the action figure side versus it actually being what in core is supposed to be as a robot that turns into something, and that I think takes away from that. And Brett probably agrees with me on this. The pricing for this stuff is astronomical sometimes, and it's sometimes am I paying for an over-articulated action figure that's going to explode, or am I paying for something that's fun to play with?
Well,
that's the question.
Don't get me started on the what we pay versus what we get type thing.
But I mean, hand in hand.
I mean, we've talked about this a while ago. I mean, I went into a Target and got a figure, and I was like, this is cool. And I saw the price, and I was like, I don't need it. I mean,
yeah, but it's third party.
Price does pay a difference in this. I mean, it definitely does. But it's one of those things. I mean, so you buy something that's Hasbro. Okay, that there's money involved in that. There's money involved in the name. It's just the way it is. So this thing is produced, and you buy it at this X point. Then you have a third party company that comes out, and they make something like Broadside, like we were talking about, and it's a great figure. I do not know the price point on that. Dom probably does. We'll wait on that. I'm just saying that I think it's a good figure. Now, if this price point comes up at X and I'm not willing to pay that, that's I'm not going to do it. And that's and I think a lot of people don't understand when you have a third party item. There's so many things. We're not talking about pushing out thousands of products. You're talking about putting out 1,000 or less, so the price per piece goes up. It doesn't mean that they're gouging you. It just means that it costs more for them to make the product. So third party, and trust me, I'm not a big advocate of third party. We all know this. I understand that the price is going to go up per unit because of what it costs to make that. I get it. But having said that, like I said, I think that sometimes simpler is better on some of this stuff.
No, the one third party, personally, I thought was worth the money that I have. You guys probably heard me talk about it before. And I still think it's one of the best third-party toys that was ever produced, and I have yet to handle anything that's even remotely close. But I mean, if you're not into brick bots, I understand. But Glacial Lord, it did a lot of interesting things. It held together fine. It was backward compatible with all your Scramble City. To me, this was peak to me, because you didn't have a bunch of little fiddly parts that were going to fall off. In a lot of ways, it had a lot of nostalgia because of the way they even packaged these things in the worn-looking boxes with the half-applied sticker sheets and stuff. It was a great experience. And that's my thing. Like, if you're going to pay money for a toy that's made by a third-party company, I like to see experience be pulled along with that, because there's actually a sticker book that came out for this set that kind of reminded us of the old sticker books we used to get for our Transformers stuff when we went to the gas station. You guys, sticker would throw on the sticker albums. They had a very similar thing for this. And to me, an experience is worth more of the money. I understand some of this stuff feels like garage kit stuff, which garage kit stuff is actually sometimes really interesting. But this toy never once did it ever feel like it was going to explode in my hand. I didn't feel like I was going to lose a part. It was just solid. And
garage kits is kind of where we started with all this.
Yeah. And I really think this is the direction a lot of third parties should go, along with, if you have an articulated hand, you give it a non-articulated hand. Price, I understand price being expensive. I get that, because they are low-run items. But if you're going to be in the aftermarket trying to get hold of these, because say you want to hold out for X amount of time to buy one because it was too expensive at the time, or you wanted to see what the quality was like, it makes it a little easier to be able to swallow the pill on how much it costs in the aftermarket if you can get it fully complete, instead of, oh, it's missing the tip to this staff, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it kind of just seems like the fan base mostly just rejected some of that early experimental stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and you know, they all kind of just settled on wanting to fill holes in their chug displays or fill holes in their masterpiece displays.
Yeah, I mean, Fans Project would probably still be around if Glacial Lord had been a bigger success, and they didn't run into the issue with the Dino shells for their Dino King, as we talked about a week or two ago. So those two things right there were probably significant reasons why Fans Project went from being like the place to get your third-party toys, because they started off with Defender. They started off with the City Commander armor, then they did Defender, and they went to their Assaulter. So I mean, which is, I looked it up pre-show. Assaulter is the only other third-party non-Legends masterpiece alike Broadside. That was 2012. No one has done a masterpiece Broadside since this one and the teased one from Fans Toys. But we all know Fans Toys, whenever someone announces a figure, a couple of days later, there's a CAD model from Fans Toys. But as far as third party goes, I believe what I want to see from third party is the money gives me the figure that does what it's supposed to do without making me want to throw it against a wall. I mean, that's very generalized, I know. But it's like upcoming third-party figures I'm interested in. I've got this BoardCon, and just to let you know, Megamus, to let everyone know, Josie has them at $145. Every domestic retailer, TF Source and Chosen Prime, of the two that carry it, are at $199.
What about TF Safari? Because they have them up for pre-order as well.
$5 deposit. There is no final price, but generally them and Show Z tend to run not the same all the time, but within a $5 to $10 difference, give or take. So I would guess probably around the same 145 that Show Z is saying. But as far as upcoming third party, I'm interested in the Bingo Toys Technobots. Because again, we have not had a masterpiece alike Technobot combiner since Warbotron 2010, 2012, 2014, somewhere through there. And I have seen reviews from MGO about how good their strafe is. I like Fans Toys, but I believe Fans Toys has
Bless you. Bless you.
all right.
Bless you, and I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry. But we all like Fans Toys the way the stuff look. For the most part. Even though they are chasing that Sunbow step right off the cartoon look, the smooth lines, the lack of details. That's what so many people are chasing. That's why I like this Bingo Toys one. It's got a little bit of aesthetic cues that give it a little more personality, a little more life. And also, the strafe is $118 at Dozy store. And right now, all right, I'm checking this out here.
That's okay. Because I was looking at Magic Square has theirs as well.
That's something else I was going to bring up. I was trying to find their.
See, I'm always okay. There's something I need clarified because when it comes to Magic Square, I thought Magic Square was like small, tinier, pocket-sized stuff.
They are for the most part
away from that or something because they seem to keep getting bigger.
They're redefining themselves. We have the Magic Square Combaticons. They are upscales of their legends, but they are masterpiece level Combaticons, and have been very widely well received. As being for their first masterpiece combiner.
I mean, I don't mind masterpiece combiners. I understand the appeal for a lot of people on the large stuff, but I mean, I really want to see more of the smaller pocket-sized stuff because, I'll be honest with you, how many of you guys actually have real estate on your shelves for more large combiners? Like, if you're buying every version of Bruticus that's ever come out, how many more Bruticuses can you fit on a shelf? That are masterpiece size, Like, I don't know. Like, that's my question when it comes to some of these third-party stuff. I'm thinking with Megamus it being simplified. Simplified to me sometimes is making them smaller. Not making them.
I don't have a problem with that at all. That's the other thing I've noticed is. And I could be wrong. I could be out of the loop, but it seems like they made things smaller, pocket size, and then they made things larger, glorify. And at what point is it too small or too big? I mean, and we'll get into it because I can't wait till we get into it. But Leo Kaiser, I mean, the size on that one. So if you look at that, do we make things bigger than that? Look what happened with Unicron. Unicron was huge. It was big. It's amazing. It's a great piece. But at the very beginning, no one wanted to put that price out. No one wanted to do it. So less people bought it, less were made, and it's worth more. could the same thing be said the other way around?
I mean,
I don't.
I'll be honest with you. I really think, like, when you look at the large sized, like even like say the third party Unicrons, there's some people out there that said, "Oh well, I don't want the HasLab one; it's too big." They like the size of the third party one because it is big, because Unicron is supposed to be huge. But then you got guys like me that like this tiny, small pocket size stuff, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, Blockies, when are you going to give me a full Unicron like figure, not just the head, not just the planet mode? I want to see a full little figure of him, you know, because some of us like those tiny ones that aren't really, you know, something that's going to take up the entire shelf. They just want a representation of it. But yeah, like, it's so confusing whenever you have companies that come out and say, "Oh, I'm Magic Square and I make pocket-sized robots," and then they turn around and say, "Nope, we're not doing that anymore. We're doing this." And I'm just like, what happened to the formula for both? If you're going to make an upscaled version of your pocket-sized robots, why not make pocket-sized ones, make the larger robots, but then give them, I don't know, like we were saying, swappable hands, that way you got articulated fingers and all that kind of stuff. I don't see a reason why they can't do both, because they're creating most of the stuff in CAD anyway. So it's not like it's going to take up physical real estate while they're designing these. You know, I understand there's money, time behind it. Sometimes these are just guys that work a full-time job and they do this on the side. I understand that. But when it comes to fully committing to build this stuff, I think I would be more prone to try to sell smaller ones, because I'm going to have more people that are wanting to buy smaller ones, because you could buy a full set of these figures, then have to wait, like Don was saying, how long for some of these things? You're never going to have it completed by the time you kick off.
Yeah, Fans Toys took almost 10 years for their dead end to come out to complete their Stunticons. Their Blitzwing was around the same time, a decade between it showing as a CAD model and then actually existing in physical form.
I mean, I think a lot of it, like Brett was saying, over-complexed. Make them simpler. Simpler means easier to manufacture, cheaper to manufacture, quicker to manufacture, you know? Especially if they're outsourcing the stuff out of China or wherever they're going to, you know, get it from. I think that is a huge improvement if they're able to do something like that. And then if you want to make it a masterpiece alike, you go in and you add in the couple joints you need. You give it swappable hands so it's got articulated fingers and maybe a little more detailed weapons or whatever it is. All you do is upscale it. What do you think all these knockoff companies have done with almost every Hasbro and some third-party toys? They've actually improved on those sometimes. And all they did was take the original design and modify it slightly. So I think in a lot of ways some of these people that are making these are kind of shooting themselves in the foot by making one thing and then walking away and wiping their hands clean and say, "Oh, I made this much money," and then 6 years down the road there's some knockoff company making your toy better because they decide to add die cast in the feet because it helps it stand better. Yeah, you can kind of see where I'm going with some of this. It makes sense for these people to, I don't know, put a little more, if you're going to put dedication to making sure the character looks right. If you want an animated head, you know, give it an animated head. Make a swappable head. SH Figure Arts used to do that all the time. They give you all different kinds of like facial expressions and all different kinds of stuff. Same thing with hands, you know. If you're going to do this for these figures, you might as well go all out instead of giving people a halfway product and then later on expecting another third party to fill in bits to fix this. And it's kind of silly if you think about how much money they put into some of this stuff, and then it's not, you know, completely what everybody wants. I'm sure you guys can all agree with that.
Yeah. It's, we've sort of moved past the legality of third party. It exists. It's a thing. It exists. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. It may change shape, no pun intended. It may look a little different. It may be bigger. It may be smaller. But it's still going to be there because they don't have limitations on doing characters that Hasbro has to do. So they can give you objectively a better figure, but it's going to cost you because they don't have the economies of scale that Hasbro does. So again, we all know that. The problem with third party is that either they're chasing the Sunbow model, they're chasing that stepped right off the screen and looks like on the screen. If that's what you want, that's fine. But it's the bait and the switch, like we talked about. Here's a pre-order. 5 years later, it comes out. That's why I'm not doing the Fans Toys Technobots. Because I have seen Fans Toys. I was looking for a price. I swear I saw somewhere where their strafe was $169, maybe $159. $159, $169. The Bingo Toys strafe, $120. But Fans Toys, we have seen how long they take. And when you get a third-party combiner, because I got the Magic Square Masterpiece upscales from their Legends figures. I got their Bruticus. I was terrified I would not be able to complete this thing because of the tariffs involved. Luckily, I was able to sneak it in under the wire. But still, disregarding all that, going into a combiner team is a commitment that you better just brace yourself that it may not be completed.
Yeah.
And that's something else. But I mean, Hasbro is trying to get their combiners out in a relatively short period of time to avoid what happened with Minosaur. Third party, again, look at Fans Toys. And I don't mean to be beating a dead horse, but that's the main example. It took them 10 years to get their dead end out. 9 years plus for the Blitzwing. From CAD release, solicitation, pre-order, until in somebody's hand. And that's the problem with the third party is you don't know when or if this is going to come out. And I will bring up another example. Make Toys their Headmaster Highbrow. It's still being solicited for pre-order. I've had a pre-order at Shows eStore for 4 years for this figure. And I'm keeping it because I want to finish their Headmasters. But again, that's what I hate, is you don't know if it'll even come out. And if you do, how long are you going to have to wait? And will I be dead by the time it's done?
True.
Yeah, I remember, you guys remember Power Core Combiners, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then, I forget what company it is, but it's a company that made their version of Fallen. But they also had armor sets.
That was Make Toys.
That was Make Toys. And they had these armor sets. And they had full-on pictures, everything, ready to go. Never produced it. I had those on pre-order because I was a huge Power Core Combiner fan. Still am. Still think they're awesome. But still, I wanted to get those sets because they looked really gnarly. It really beefed them up and made them look cool. They completely canceled everything. And I was like, why? And then we had Pandora's Box. I don't know if you guys remember that. There's a thing called Pandora's Box that was a trailer for, I think it was the Orion packs, the Generations Orion packs that came out during that time.
Oh, yeah.
It was a upgrade trailer. Well, they didn't make that. They just made an add-on kit. They used that Pandora box to become an add-on kit for War for Cybertron Ultra Magnus. Is what they did. And they didn't completely put that thing out. And I was wanting that because I was a big War for Cybertron fan. So, I can understand being disappointed when something's like announced and you have it on pre-order and you're like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get this thing like in about a year or so or whatever, and never see it. It's like the company ghosts you, and it's like, what fun is that when it comes to, I'm gonna commit to buy something? Because, I mean, they're showing off all these great pictures of this broadside, but they're all renders. Let's see the actual toy. Do you actually have a physical thing to show us? I think that should be more of a thing for like TFCon when they do this entire panel. Most of these I'm seeing, like, a lot of them look like renders. We're not worried about Doctor Wu. Doctor Wu drops every time they announce. I haven't seen Doctor Wu not, with their little pocket transformers. But the reason they're selling as well as they are, low price point, low entry, fun toy, they're able to produce it, These larger ones are masterpiece stuff. We have to sit back and wait. And is it going to come out? Like he's saying. I personally am not one of those people who's going to drop money on a render. A lot of people would be like, well, it's up for pre-order. I better pre-order everything. How about let's not allow them to put up a pre-order unless they're actually showing an official product at that point. At least a color shot version or color test shot version of the toy and what it's able to do. Because they put a little bit of strain on these companies, I think it'll make them wake up and say, hey, let's stop building air castles and expect people to throw money at us and actually produce a product that someone's really going to want. I mean, I think you guys can probably agree with me on that, because it's kind of frustrating. Because I've seen so many awesome designs get canceled, or, like Don said, 10 years later, oh, here it is. I just think that's wrong. What do you guys think of all that? Brett?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was typing. I can't multitask. Sorry. I mean, for me, like I said, I'm not really big into third-party stuff. But I think that, yeah, I mean, a couple of things we talked about today. Yeah, I know you don't have this. Third parties do not have the same standards of safety, but some of them actually make sense, and that includes pops, pieces popping off and sharp in this, that, and the other. I'm turning. I'm leaning more towards some of the third-party items. They're pretty cool, but I really like the basic idea as opposed to the more complex. Kind of like we talked about. I mean, to me, when Hasbro went to the masterpiece, I was like, all right, I'm up for this. In like 3 or 4 iterations into masterpiece, I was like, all right, I'm not ready for this. I can't really focus and do this. So, what is it? Kiss? You guys remember Kiss?
Keep it
players?
simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Oh.
That's
Are we talking about a band?
yeah, keep it simple, man. I mean,
Are we talking about a Akari Scream?
I'm just saying. I mean, sometimes simpler is
Ripper.
better. I'd rather transform my figure in 10 minutes as opposed to waiting until the next day to finish it because it's too complex.
Well, and I think to third party's credit, it has toned down. I mean, if you remember, I feel like back in the day, the hallmark of a third party figure was that you were bleeding at least 4 different fingers, and you felt like you were gonna break it 10 to 12 different times. And I think they've gotten a lot better on avoiding some of that stuff. So a lot of them are a lot more like maybe sometimes a little more complicated than a masterpiece, but most of the time, I mean, masterpiece found itself pretty complicated by the time we got to like MP44.
Thank you.
So I think they've found a good balance too. The big one I remember, and I never got it, but I remember a lot of people talking about it was that the Hearts of Steel Soundwave, and I remember people just talking about how.
You mean Shockwave?
Yeah, Shockwave. Yeah, sorry. I remember, hearing about that thing being just like a terrifying. It was cool, but it was terrifying. And it had like parts on it that would cut you in 5 different ways. So,
Not to
the
mention
third party's
the
credit,
package.
like a lot of the stuff I've gotten, because most of the third party stuff I've gotten is Peace Force related, obviously. There's a few that are not, but none of them have been outside of where I felt they went beyond kind of a normal collector's grade sort of transforming figure would be. There's a few that I kind of hate, but for the most part they've been pretty within reason. So
I really think Megamus is on the head on that with the whole simplified thing. And like I said, kind of what Magic Square has done. They'll take the simplified figure, make it more of a masterpiece, kind of upscale it. If more companies would follow that, I think they're going to be more successful.
I almost hate to say it.
You can have an articulated hand, but then give us a pop-off one that doesn't. That's it.
Sure. But I even look at like blockies. Why are they doing so well? They don't transform. They're
cheap.
They're cheap and they're simple. And they represent. I'm not saying that's what everyone needs to do. They got their little niche. But kind of use that and maybe give us something great, something big, but not so intricate, not so hard to mess around with. I mean, everyone fiddles. You get a bot, you fiddle. It's a fiddle bot. But if it's a pain in the butt to transform, it sits on the shelf.
I mean, the one thing I can think of that's older third party was Utopia. That I think it was kind of simple. It wasn't an over complex thing. Am I correct on that, Don? Like, Utopia was pretty. I think it hit the nail on the head.
I've never actually transformed my Utopia.
Oh, you have?
I've had them for over a decade, and I have never. Well, it was always going to be when I get my collection set up. And it's a decade later, and I've never have. He's just sat there and looked awesome in robot mode. I've never actually tried to transform him. I think on my Hasbro Unicron, he's still in planet mode, and I don't see me transforming him anytime soon. I want to, but I don't.
From what I gathered, that Utopia though had kind of a solid base. It felt good. It didn't feel like it was going to cut you. It wasn't insane to transform, and it looked good. And I think that's what third party's missing out on. And they need to think of that, not give us yet another Devastator. I was looking at the panel stuff that came up in 2000s for this year's, and I'm like, they're showing a Scavenger. I'm like, really? Do we need another third party Devastator? How many of those do we have?
Not enough.
Apparently. Like that's. I think I was talking to Don about this before you guys had popped in during pre-show though. Why are we consistently recycling Generation 1? There's so many other designs they can do.
Because that's what sells. That's people
But what's going
want.
to happen after we're gone?
Money.
Yeah. Like
Doesn't matter. It's money.
Well, the problem is what will happen is as we stop collecting, as we die,
within 10 to 15 years,
whenever
Or
it happens.
roughly.
Yeah. So when we start dying out, Generation 1 will not be as important from a nostalgia standpoint because we won't be here to support that. Other people may be inspired by it and pick up the mantle, but there are going to be younger generations like Sideburn and those behind him that Beast Wars is their Generation 1. Robots in Disguise is their Generation 1. The Unicron Trilogy is their Generation 1. So there will always
Bayformers.
be Bayformers, whether you want it or not. It's 2007 to 2026. Next year will be the 20th anniversary of the start of the movieverse.
There's a lot of nostalgia behind that. I see a lot of people liking them.
Yeah. Yeah. So it won't be Generation 1 that we know, but it will be somebody's Generation 1 that they started with, like Brave. Every year, different series, different toys, different story, not interconnected. So, because every year was somebody's first giant robot show. It's kind of the same thing with this. As we get older, as we die off, it's going to happen whether we want to admit it or not. I may have a regeneration or two left. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see.
You'll respawn it. It's
But-
okay.
Yeah, but when it's Sideburn's turn to be the elder generation, and he is the Beast era is upon us. He will see more Beast Wars stuff being done because that's the people kind of buying the stuff. And then on the kids after him that grew up with Robots in Disguise and the Armada trilogy, these companies, if they still exist, will be focusing on those. So there will always be a Generation 1 of some fashion targeting the people at that age for the nostalgia with the disposable income. Again, this whole third party thing may collapse next year. It may collapse next month for some reason. Nothing is guaranteed. But that's the way that I see it. Having been here, I'm like a Vorlon. I've always been here. So I was here before Transformers started. I was here when it started. I've seen the progression. I've been through G1, G2, and everything after that. So someone like me, I am not bound by one generation as do I love G1? Yes. Does it have its flaws? Yes. But I'm willing to see most every series, even Beast Machines, has good things about it.
Merit.
Exactly. They have merit. But but this G1 focus of all these third parties, it's not going to be able to last because we're not going to be here to buy the shit. We're going to be dead. And I'm sorry, but that's the honest truth.
You know, the funny thing is, and you and I are extremely close in age, although you're older. I'll point that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
See the gray? Yeah.
I mean,
I get it. So yeah, I mean, I've noticed it. I mean, we're not going to be around forever. It's going to continue. I get all that. You and I may not like whatever alliteration they come out next, but we've said this for many years, and we've been on podcasts before this and the other. At what point does someone's G1 is not your G1? And to me, I think believe it or not, G1 was a fan-driven name, just like G2 and so on. It was the fans that said, "Oh, this is the next generation," and social media or media, whatever it is, picked up on that, and that's where it came. So, saying that this is G1 it really doesn't mean anything. This was our first encounter with the lore, the product. So with anyone else, like Sideboard, anyone that came in afterwards, their G1, our first alliteration, might be RID, Armada or whatever. I'm sorry if it was Armada, but side point. Anyway, so I get that.
It's like one of the more popular of the series when it gets pulled. But
hush, it sucks.
Interesting.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, but my point is that at some point this is where you start. Okay, so like for Don, you and I, and I'm sure you did as well. I jumped in. I jumped in right around Beast Wars, and I remembered when I collected from what would be called G1. But I also looked back to Diaclone, and I grabbed that, and I love that. I wasn't born during that time,
right?
So what we need to do is not only instill what you're currently looking at, but the past, so that Sideburn might look at, oh, I'm going to look at G2 or G1 or Machine Wars and go back and possibly get to Diaclone like we did. Looking at the past, looking at the present helps. So it's kind of linear, Every generation, they look backwards and forwards, so it shifts. So like for Don and I, we look back. Our golden times were the 80s, so we look back beyond that to Diaclone. So so people were in the 90s, they look back beyond that, and they look at the 80s, and so on. It's a building block. And in my opinion, as people a part of this, we have to keep reminding the new generation, not that ours is better or that we had the official prime or whatever, but that it is linear. It builds upon itself, and only that way are we going to get the next generation to look at past just back, but maybe at the beginning. And keep it going. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It does. It does. I'm going to say this. This is why this fandom does, and I'm calling out another fandom. It's not out of malice. It's just out of what I've seen through the years. Our fandom does not need to become the Star Wars fandom.
Oh,
It does not need.
Don't.
It does not need to gatekeep and preserve that this is the best. Nothing else matters. Only this. If you like this over here from column B, you're wrong. It has no merit because this is what is important. Nothing else is important.
It's funny you should say that. I 100% agree, but I'm thinking about this and try and look outside where I'm at and who I am. But think about this. If you look at Transformers as a building block, to where if you look back what it was built upon, and you say, okay, if I came in at X point and I want to progress, but I look at the building blocks, I don't want to go past Y. It's okay. And I guess to make it even easier, if Jason wants to say, I love G2, I identify with G1, but not Diaclone, that's okay. If Sideburn wants to look at Beast Wars and, Armada and, whatever, but I really don't look at G1, I look at G2, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's still a linear, there's a progression. If Hasbro and Takara didn't do anything else, they built something that has a purpose in that it has a line. Now, does your line stop at, pick 1990 or 1980? Doesn't matter. It's still a progression. I think that we can all, as Transformer fans, be united in the fact that it is Transformers and it does have a lineage. Whether or not you want to look beyond, 2000, 1990, 1980, 1970, it doesn't matter. And that's where we all have a fellowship. So if you look at that and not, G1 is the best or G2 is the best or whatever, doesn't matter. There's a connection. We all like, let's face it, in the grand scheme of things, we all like transforming robots. That's all. It's what matters. So, who's right? Guess what? You're all right. Everyone.
I am. Beast Wars is the best. You all suck.
You know what I mean? And I agree with that.
G2 for life.
I love Beast Wars. Don't think it's the best, but I get it.
Blasphemy. You didn't know this was the Beast Wars podcast?
And I know we're not going to get to the last point because I'm tired and we're running over.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take control here real quick. So me, as being the guy that I got to know what's going on with my Leo Kaiser and why they're not giving us anything. And I was telling the cast they don't do this, this, and this. Well, guess what? We got updates. Woo!
You manifested.
We got
that one.
box updates. We got this, that, and the other. So my question is: has anyone been asked about their updated address?
Not
Because
yet.
that's usually what happens right before they ship.
Not yet. Because that Instagram reel just came out 2 days ago.
I'm just saying, anyone in the world, anyone listening, because we hit everyone across the world, of course. Anyone, did you get the notification? I am on my edge of my seat. I want to know. And am I thinking about this too much? Probably.
It's Leo Kaiser, that's why. It's one of the things we thought we would never see ever touched again. Same thing with Monstructor. Those are two I really thought was never going to happen again. So I'm glad.
You see what happened was with Omega Prime, they built the hype up too much. They don't want you to be too hyped.
I don't want to hear it. I just want updates, and I want that thing in my grubby little hands. I want it right now.
After seeing that reveal, I'm now regret not buying 2 because the individual robots wound up being a lot better than I thought they would be. So, but again, that's first world problems there.
Honestly, I hope for everyone else's sake, because I didn't buy into it because I didn't care. But I hope for everyone else's sake that their silence has been them taking it seriously and learning from their mistakes and not just a lapse of communication, right?
So the only thing I want to say before we're done with this is I'm hoping that, like you said, that the prolonged silence was that they were making sure it was the perfect product to send to us so that we don't have the issues we've had with the last 3 ones. At least 3. Yes, I'm hopeful.
I agree with that.
But
they need to
I'm just try and be positive.
let's hope this one is the best one.
Well, it goes in cycles, right?
I mean, it couldn't happen at a better time. I'm at a low. Give me a high. Thank you.
I mean, so far they've gone in cycles where you have a good one and then something QC issues, and the good one with something with QC issues. So this should be a good one.
Yeah, thanks. That makes me feel so much better.
Jeez.
Statistics.
I mean, that's what some of this is based off of. But, yeah.
I know I based my life on it. Doesn't mean I like it.
Ain't none of us like that, but you know. Yes, I hope the Kaiser address drops at least probably before or middle of next month, somewhere around there, because hopefully that'll come around soon. Considering Evan put up, I don't know if you know this or not, but I watched a video recently, and Evan on Instagram put up video footage of the Kaisers, like parts, stuff like that. So he actually has an in-hand sample, it's an actual production sample, not a this is a test shot, blah blah blah. He did actually put one up, so if anybody's interested in that, you'll have to try to find it on Instagram, and I don't know what his Instagram is, but it is a video on YouTube talking about it. So.
I'll have to look at that, because the one I saw was of a pre-production one that wasn't fully painted, and there was some tolerance issues and everything, but being a pre-production, you don't know that, so I would like to see exactly what we're looking at here.
Well, that's what Evan did. He put that up, and I actually shared it in our Facebook Messenger. I shared the video that the guy dropped talking about it, and he actually has it's Toys R Us that put it up, so it's coming from a credible source as well.
So there is one thing I would like to add before we go, and I'm sure all the Hasbro executives are watching and they understand what I'm going to say here, because I mean it is what it is. I would like to see a video of their product and you taking it and just dropping it. I mean, like not off a building, like waist high, and showing the durability. Because one of the things I saw with Leo Kaiser was some of the connection points, and to me, I thought those were spot on. Definitely better than the ones we've had before. So if you've done something right, showcase it. Show us.
Don't do what they did with the Tesla truck.
Don't do that.
You have bulletproof glass and you just take a metal ball and throw it against the window and it shatters it.
Different company. Come on.
Bulletproof glass, to their credit, bulletproof glass is not shatterproof glass. It just means that the bullet stops before it passes through the glass.
Are you trying to say that there's a difference between bulletproof and bulletproof-ish?
Because I do have I saw a picture because my uncle was he was just in the army when he was in Iraq, and he fixed Humvees, or he did he worked on like communications equipment, but he took a picture of a Humvee that had been shot in the front windshield, and it was just like shattered, but it didn't go through. So that's I guess that's what you want it to do. But yeah, that was hilarious when they threw the ball at it and it just shattered it.
Yeah.
I mean, they claimed too much and then proved that it wasn't what it was. I think that's what we're getting at here. Like, if you're going to create a toy and you're doing it for safety reasons and you're doing it because, oh, well, we got to do this, that, and the other, so quality.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to pass a drop test, so you would think it's something they could show. I mean,
I don't want to see it hit concrete. I want to see it hit. Oh, look,
I want to see what it looks like if it falls. I want to see what it looks like if it falls from a shelf above your head at 3 a.m. in the morning. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Nightmares of NPO1. You know. Some people didn't survive that thing, shelf diving. Pour one out for our fallen comrades.
All right.
So this is a shout out to those that have been injured by MPO1, or a shout out to those that have rescued themselves by using an MPO1, whichever. Kudos or condolences, whichever.
Hey, I mean, it kind of is a certified weapon. I mean, come on. You throw that thing at anybody's head, they're not going to get back up from that.
Yeah.
All right, so.
It definitely brought back the G1 brick. Yeah.
Little brick.
Yeah.
Sweet. Anyone that wants to post in the group saying that they got this or that and the other to condone Megamus's anxiety about Leo Kaiser, please do. Please help me out with my anxiety because I haven't gotten anything. They haven't asked me anything. I want my toy.
No one has.
Yeah, I think
that's
know.
why I
asked
in the future if people would post. This is a future thing.
Guys, in the future, if you get it, don't post anything.
Dang it!
We always
in
have
the
that one
future,
troll.
go to Mike's house and never mind.
Promise you, I'll post it as soon as I get it.
You didn't order one, so that'll make him even angrier.
You got mine. What the hell?
I got deep connections. You know.
So do I.
Deep
I
pockets,
know.
apparently.
I know where you live. I know where you all live.
All right. Well, that being said, I think we've kind of talked this subject out for the night. Yes, we want to see more updates on Lyle Kaiser. I'm glad we got something at least. Hopefully, we'll get an address update here in the near future.
I'll be good for about a week. Thank you.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Just do the damn thing.
All right.
Help me.
So, as our sign off, back to the original topic. 1 to 10, spice level. Go.
What the heck is spice level? What does that mean?
We started talking about spicy food.
Oh.
We gotta end cap
I
this
had
thing.
the 3 mile. I had the 3 mile spicy, and it was crap. Nothing. So I need higher than that.
What does Taco Bell fire sauce rate at? Because that's about it for me.
That to me would be like a 1.
1?
Okay.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Diablo.
Diablo,
Diablo
a
is
1 and a
like
half.
I don't like
I
Diablo.
wouldn't even give it a 2.
Doesn't even
Well,
taste
yeah, I'm just saying if we're going off of whole numbers, but yeah.
I mean,
That's our
seriously.
numbers.
I mean, Mike, Diablo, what, 1.5 maybe?
Yeah, no, it's not that much. It just Diablo just tastes worse.
Well, okay. Where
The
I'm
worst
from,
thing is when they put that white stuff in there and it makes it milky. Oh,
Yeah. where I'm from, because it's made in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is like 30 minutes from where I grew up. Texas Pete. That is the hot sauce in this region.
Look, Texas Pete
I've
tastes
had.
good.
Hang on. I will give a so Tabasco. All right, Tabasco is hot and vinegar. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's that called?
Frank's Red Hot.
Red Hot. Red Hot has a little flavor, little heat. Texas Pete is it's too sweet for me. I don't find any hot in that. I don't know. Give me something. Tell me in the comments. I want something hot. I love my wings. I love the hot. Give me something hot.
Just need to send you some Indian food, man.
Now, that's different. Because I've had that. That is not hot. That's just rancid. Some of that stuff is just bad. I mean, I'm sorry. Hot. Scovitz. Give me something hot. Tell me what I need to do. And you know what? Maybe I'll just go ahead and eat it on a show. Who knows?
That's what we need to do is set up a PO box.
You know what?
Start sending him samples
I can take
of hot sauce, and
I can do it.
Does it on every freaking podcast? He tests the hot sauce.
Whoa!
He's got to do it at the end.
Not every show.
If he does it at the start, he won't be in part of the show for the rest of the 2 hours.
Where'd he go? He's
And
in the job.
then he'll be doing the show from his bathroom.
I can do that too.
Yeah.
The ambiance is great.
Before we sign off, I want to sign off first because I am getting very low on power because I did not bring the charger down with me.
You didn't have the Scovitz. That's what it was.
Yeah. When it comes to third party, do your due diligence, do your research, check out the companies, check out the sites. If you go to eBay, I don't know if it's still there. TFW used to have
Well, eBay is still there, I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean, TFW 2005 did have a third-party buyer on positives and negatives off of eBay, so there was that at one point. I'm not sure if it's still there or not. But do your due diligence. And I think when we talk about the last half of the stuff, we talked about we are a fellowship. We are a community of fans that love this product over the course of 40 plus years, 50 plus years, whatever the case may be. We don't need to become like other fandoms and say only this is good, nothing else matters, because it's shape-changing robots. Things change, aesthetics change, fiction changes. Like what you like. If you don't like it, what you do like doesn't not exist anymore. If someone likes what you don't like, fine. If we're a fellowship, don't be Boromir. Don't be a Boromir. Okay.
You misunderstood Boromir.
Oh, he tried to kill Frodo and take the ring. So there's a lot of misunderstanding there.
Yeah, but no. Come on. He had a last-minute redemption.
Yeah, but when you get 4 arrows in you, yeah, I mean that's kind of hard to ignore. But I'm just saying,
And that wasn't in the knee.
Tis a flesh wound. So just like what you like.
Yeah, be an Aragorn, don't be in Boromir.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just we don't need our fandom to be the Star Wars fandom. That's why I don't collect Star Wars anymore. You can't enjoy it because you can't talk to anybody about anything because everyone will jump on you for liking X and not liking Y. Here's something. The last Star Wars thing I ever watched was the Clone Wars animated movie and some of the TV series, not past the first maybe 12 or 13 episodes. The last thing Star Wars that I liked was the Gennady Tartakovsky series on Cartoon Network. That's what the fandom has done to me. I could care if Star Wars burnt to the ground tomorrow and the entire franchise was sucked into a black hole to be deposited on the other side of the universe. I wouldn't care because the fandom has made me not want to care. I don't want this to happen to the Transformers fandom. Please don't let it happen.
No, I think we're good. I mean, I feel like most of the fandom is pretty open to everything that is coming along. I'll say the point that we were actually at the worst was at Beast Wars. There was a lot of pushback on Beast Wars. Hey, as a Beast Wars guy at the time, I was told by every old hat, G1's better. It's got a better cartoon. It's got better toys. I bought into it hook, line, and sinker. I used to, when I was a 14-year-old kid, I'd be like, I had never watched an episode of Transformers G1 in my life, and I had never owned a toy, but I would tell people, well, yeah, G1 is probably definitely better, but I really like Beast Wars. So, you know, but I feel like that's not really in the fandom. Every fandom has its bad actors, but I feel like, you know, Transformers is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Good. Yep.
I agree.
It could be Star Wars, it could be Marvel. So.
It could be those guys that sit back in the back and says, Transformers. Those are cool, but hey, I love GoBots. You know what? We all like transforming robots.
You guys remember the real American transforming robots?
Yeah, you're going to talk about the OG transforming robots. We're going to talk about them GoBots. They were first.
Hasbro. Honka.
All right. Well, that being said, I think we've all kind of...
Jason, do you want to go next, or do you want me to? Because I haven't signed off yet.
You go right ahead.
All right. First of all, for Don, Bad Batch, sorry. Yeah, amazing. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I've heard all this stuff is good. I don't have any care left in me. But if you like
I get it, but I'm telling you that Bad Batch, if you haven't done it, do it. It doesn't matter if it's a connected or whatever. Yes, Star Wars kind of sucks because they do that, but Bad Batch is amazing. Done with that. So, Beast Wars, I'm sorry, but Beast Wars was amazing. Why was it amazing? Because it connected everyone from the past to the future to where we're at now. Yes.
Thank you, Ben.
And it gave us all of it. And it gave us the excellent Beast Machine. No,
shut up. We don't talk about Beast Machine. Beast Wars. Yes.
I love Beast Machines, but
I have that out of my system. The only thing I have to say is, that yes, third party is not an idea, because there's more, that I'm really familiar with or that I care about. But when they put out something that is so good, I have to take notice. Hence why I wanted to talk about this. But my big thing is what you didn't like, what you did, whatever. And that's kind of what we talked about. So when you're making your purchases, I've become more and more away from, well, it's Hasbro, it's got to be good. Don't look at who made it. Look at the product. Is that what you want? Are you happy with what you want? Do you need an official product that requires upgrade kits? Yes or no? Does that make it your best character? And yes, I'm kind of being vague, but everyone's different. Everyone has to think about what they want. What I want from a character is definitely different than what Don or Jason or Mike wants, and just get what you want. Doesn't matter who made it. Really doesn't. Because whether you like it or not, you're spending money and it's going to go somewhere. Right?
It's the truth.
Oh, and good night, everybody.
So, with all this being said, I'm not hating on third party. I think third party has its place, has some cool stuff, has its hits and misses. If you're going to really get into it because you love the fandom. And I love this fandom. I'm glad this fandom sticks together the way we do. I do love Star Wars, but I'm still one of the bitter old hats that is like, where's my Empire, Shadows of the Empire movie? And, what the hell happened there? But I'm kind of one of those, and I'd like to see a Dark Forces movie. But with that all being said, I really think our fandom's doing good, and we're going to hang in there and keep going because we're consistently trying to encourage others to get into it and enjoy transforming robot toys. I'm saying that in general, not just Transformers, because there's all different kinds, and there's some really, really interesting ones out there that are kind of adding a little bit of the sprinkle of the fuel that we need to keep this fandom going, considering we kind of are in a dry spell. We're in that Generation 2. I'm the G2 guy, and I can see it. So, I'm just glad that things are working out the way they are, and we're consistently seeing more and more product trying to be produced to fill the aesthetics that people like in their collections. So I'm done rambling, and I am going to have everybody say good night, and we are going to get out of here, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.
Yep.
I already said it. What more do I need to say?
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, same here.
Sleep.
I'm going to bed. 5:30 comes up early in the
I gotta
morning.
get blood drawn tomorrow.
Oh, yay. Fun.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm going to try to get up early tomorrow because I got to go to the DMV to get tags put on my truck. So, yeah, that's
Blah, 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 blah. Guess what? I got to go to work. That's it. Work.
Work.
Yeah, I gotta come back home and work from this very spot. Okay.
Oh, my God. My potty's 5 minutes away. Not really 5. 2 minutes. Probably a minute away and blah, blah, blah.
Well, remember, we can't see what he's sitting on, so it may be closer.
It might be right here. Whatever.
It's maybe 100. Yeah, it's
Dude,
maybe.
I have to plan my poops like 3 hours in advance.
Yeah, because it depends on how much hot sauce he's going to have.
Yeah.
And with the hot sauce, we're talking like 30, 45 minutes apart. That's what happens when you're out and around.
Well, I'm just all aflushed with the wonderful conversation tonight. But
Flush?
Flush, yeah. Flush, But I think this is a time to
He's saying shut it off. We're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
because I'm down to 5% power. So
Just get it done. We're done.
Catch you
Send us
guys
down the
next week.
bowl.
Good night, everybody.
Later, everybody. Take care.